Hey guys, Stitches here, and Merry Christmas. It is Christmas 2024 as I record this, and as the video is about to go up. I held my hands up, and I think the video just started. It must be a smart feature on my camera. But I kind of wanted to talk about an interesting topic being Christmas presents. Um, Christmas presents that I've gotten over the years and how they've contributed, to where I am, to this channel. Um, so I just kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. So I think first off, I should start with what I got this year in terms of Christmas presents. On Steam, I got gifted a couple games. I got gifted a copy of Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5 Final Mix. Because it was on my Steam wish list, even though I own it. It technically is a better version. It's more enhanced. You can also download save files for it. So, it's there if I want it. You can also mod it. I also mainly wanted it over the Epic Games version. The Epic Games version, I just don't really like Epic Games that much. With World of Goo 2, it was pretty obvious how I was like, miss me with that shit. So, yeah. I also got a game called Bokuda. It's this game where you play in two players, but one person has a machine world and one person has an animal world. So things you do in one world affect the other. But so in one world you can detach your head because you're a machine, but in the other world, because it's the animal world, it shows you ripping your head off and stuff like that. So it's a pretty funny thing. Me and my partner exchanged gifts. We both got each other Atlas, which, if you don't know, is a in beta MMO light type game. It's more like it plays like an MMO, but you only play it with a very small group of people. You can join lobbies and stuff. I've noticed that a lot of lobby-based indie games are popping up. Web fishing was one that popped up for a little bit. I don't even know if people still play web fishing. Probably not, but there's one other game I got on Steam. I'm trying to remember. I got the game Helix, or Helix. I don't know how it's pronounced. Which was this indie game I've kind of heard about for a while. Especially when I was, really into the Mother 4/Oddity community. There were a lot of people talking about Helix, and I'm like, I don't know anything about Helix. So, it's that. I also got some clothes. This is one of the sweatshirts I got. The others are over here, but they're not really remarkable. So, I'm just going to try something real quick. Anyway, sorry about that. I was checking to see if, maybe I could, do the motion thing again. There is some other stuff I got. I got this, one of them I'm not really going to use, but it was a weird little humidifier type thing. My stepmom got it for me and didn't realize it was a humidifier, so I'm probably not going to use it. Especially because it's like I can't put it in my room with all the electronics. It's generally a pretty bad idea to have a humidifier in a room with a lot of electronics, since humidity can slowly damage electronics. Especially if you're running on a fan-based cooling system. So, you know. I ended up getting an Xbox controller, a purple Xbox controller, so I've been wanting a newer Xbox controller, because I've been wanting a newer Xbox controller because this one has like a USB-C port on the front of it. The other ones I have are like older model Xbox controllers that don't have USB-C compatibility on them. Yeah, it was at a weird time. I think it was before people thought USB-C was going to catch on, and it's like, literally it fixes so many problems with the original USBs where you could only like plug them in a certain way, they couldn't go the other way. So, yeah, and then with my controller, this isn't a Christmas gift, but hold on. My brother also got a new controller. His looks like this. It's got like a translucent shell. But I like to use this keyboard. So like I was a big fan of the keyboard attachment from back in the day, so I'm gonna put this keyboard on the bottom of it. It looks pretty nice. This is based on a 360, an official 360 attachment, but this one's like kind of cheap. The way this one works too is it's not like an attachment to the controller. It's basically a like small wireless keyboard that you plug into, like you put a dongle into the Xbox in order for it to receive inputs from this. I had to pull it off my brother's controller because my brother's been using it for this Roblox game he plays on Xbox. Because I guess they have a button mapping in that game that is exclusively on a on the keyboard, so that's pretty dumb. Oh, also the Xbox controller came with some Duracell batteries, so you know. So yeah, that's really what I got. I gave some gifts to other people. Actually, I gave a lot of Christmas gifts this year. Obviously, I got Atlas for my partner, but my friend Komi, by the way, it's her 1-year anniversary of streaming. She started streaming on Christmas of 2023. So, yeah, it's like, happy anniversary to you, Komi, for streaming. Specifically, that's Komafer on Twitch. If you want to go watch her stuff, she does art stuff, and I think also occasionally plays video games. But yeah, I gave her some. Her gift is like one of the things she wanted was like a space heater, and the space heater costs like $300, which I unfortunately, after all the Christmas budgeting I did, didn't have I didn't have it, so I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't get it to you. Can't get you the $300 before Christmas. I'll have to get it to you a different time, or like next month. But I'm like, for now, I gave her some money so she could buy. She talked about wanting to have like cake on Christmas. And I was like, how much is the cake? And she's like, slice of cake is like $5. So I gave her $20. And I'm like, here you go. Go get yourself some cake. Because I rest easy knowing that she's eating. She has a bad habit of not eating. She's like, I can go hungry today. It's fine. I'm like, don't say that. Eat food. I still have to give a Christmas gift to my best friend Nate, who's been in videos before, like videos I've recorded before. Especially if you're a member of the Ko-Fi, you will have seen him probably, because he is in the Ko-Fi videos that I've mainly been releasing with him. I'm also gonna draw a gift for my friend Owl. He wanted something handmade, and I'm like, alright, I guess. Like, I'm glad to do it, but it's gonna be a pain, because instead of it being something I can just buy, I have to, like, make it. So I'm gonna draw him a picture of an owl. So, Not really complaining, I was just like, it's just I don't really have time to do it, because as I've stated before, my Christmas time gets pretty full for me, considering my work hours get more demanding. Where basically I end up having to work like all day, every day, except for the weekends. So it gets to that point where it's like it makes it difficult to try to do anything outside of that, and then it's like, well, anything outside of that, has to be editing. I initially was gonna like edit a bunch of videos in advance, but I've just been so darn tired lately. I got my dad a fishing bag. He wanted like an insulated fishing bag for his kayak. My stepmom is into one of her favorite shows is Supernatural. So I was gonna get her a set of the three pop figures for the three characters from the three main characters from the show, being Sam, Dean, and then I consider him the third main character, Castiel. Unfortunately, I couldn't find Sam or Castiel, so I just got her Dean. But luckily, Dean's her favorite, so. And then my younger brother, I got him a bundle on Steam. I was originally only going to buy him one game, but like there was a bundle with that game for less than $30, so I just went on his account on Steam and bought it. By the way, weird thing about Steam, you cannot gift bundles to people. I have no idea why. You cannot use bundles to gift people stuff, as far as I know. And I think that's really weird, because it means you can't partake in certain discounts when gifting games to people, which makes gifting games almost worse. But, also, I needed to get Nate a Christmas gift, but I was thinking about getting him, like, a $40 poster we found a while back. But I think we're going to wait until this weekend to do it. Mainly because, well, every place is closed, usually closed yesterday and today, because today is Christmas, yesterday is Christmas Eve. There are a lot of places that are closed Christmas Eve. So, I think that's every Christmas gift I've given, so I've wanted to get to this part a little sooner, but Christmas gifts that I've gotten over the years that either contribute to my love of gaming. Basically, I just want to talk about some notable Christmas presents I got. One of the Christmas gifts I can remember getting was we got the I got the Nintendo DSi. I no longer have this DSi. That DSi was destroyed. Unfortunately, any remnants of that childhood DSi are like gone. Because I used to have it. I ended up losing it. I transferred the data though. Or I copied the data to my 3DS. Which, by the way, I want to talk about how the 3DS, I was always, like, kind of happy, because, like, as a kid, I was, like, a fan of Pikmin 1 and 2, but I had never owned... Obviously, I didn't play Pikmin 1 or 2 until recently. Like, more recently, within the past few years. But I did play them pre-re-release, though, so I did play, like, the Wii versions of the game. Which most people consider to be the best versions due to certain changes. You can no longer use, like, new play control settings on newer Pikmin games for some reason. I think there's a mod for Pikmin 4 that allows it, I don't know. I think it was to prevent weird exploits, because you could, like, extend your cursor farther than it's supposed to go. Anyway. So, when you do a system transfer on the 3DS, it actually shows Pikmin carrying the, it shows Pikmin carrying your stuff between files. And, like, even more interestingly, there was a Pikmin AR card included with the 3DS. So, that was interesting. How they did that, and it was like, there was no Pikmin game on the 3DS until, like, after its time. Until, like, after Pikmin 3. They eventually released Hey Pikmin, and a lot of people don't like Hey Pikmin for some reason. I think it's fine. I think it's just that it can be very boring comparatively to the other Pikmin games. It's not the same type of game. But I got a DSi when I was younger, and this was the first handheld game console that I owned that was not like a Leapster product or a Leapfrog product or whatever that company was called. Basically, if you don't know, there was a company called Leapfrog. I don't know if they still make it, but basically they had like they made these Game Boy Advance type game consoles specifically for kids, and they sold like actually pretty alright. Because it was supposed to be like the gaming, but it's good for your kids' education type thing. But then you'd get it, kids would get it, and the problem is that they'd want to play a game, but, like, you have to work in the game, like, you have to, like, learn stuff, and kids didn't want that, so, you know. It was one of those things where it was like, you know, why am I going to want to play this game if I have to learn constantly? So, you know, you had that issue, and then there was a, another one called, like, the Leapster that my little brother had. I had a Leapfrog when I was younger, I just don't remember what age, I don't remember when I got it either. It was probably also a Christmas present, honestly. But, yeah. My DSi, I had a lot of good memories with it, one of which was playing my first Zelda game, The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Anniversary Edition. That game was pretty good. It was a DSiWare title. It was later re-released on the 3DS for a limited time. It was weirdly a limited time release. It was not just a game they had up permanently. It was a limited time release, and it kind of sucked. But like, I never really had it. Then they re-released it on the 3DS for one of the anniversaries. And, you know, I re-obtained it then. Didn't have it because that, for a while, because that, my 3DS, my original 3DS, like, broke. But I'll get to that in a minute. But now I have 4 Swords installed on all the homebrewed DSs in my house. So that way we can play it. Me and my brother played it. It was a pretty fun Zelda game. Anyway, when it comes to when it comes to moving on from that, sometime after that I ended up getting a Nintendo 3DS XL. This was the first time I ever had an XL version of a console, and I had this as a kid, so it wasn't like I had big hands at the time. I partially say that the reason why I have big hands now is because I started playing a 3DS XL a lot as a kid. But the 3DS XL was like the much more premium. Hey, I will just text him and said Merry Christmas. I'll text him back after. But I just realized he's gonna know what I'm getting him if he watches this video. Anyway. The 3DS XL was like a much more premium model of the 3DS. Like, if you look... I have to say this, I feel like the original model 3DSs look a little gross. They basically did this weird thing where they made the top and bottom screens like different colors. And this was coming off the DSi, where the DSi had this more sleek, modern design. Because it was based off of the DS Lite. So it was like, you know, they came in many colors. They were like, here's dark blue, here's apple green. I had the apple green DSi. They're like, here, pick one out. So everybody had their own choice of DSi. And then for like the DS Lite, there was like a few colors. But I actually remember, I didn't even want a DSi. I ended up just getting one, because that was the ones my parents bought. There was this kid I knew in school. I don't remember. I'm just going to say his name. His name was Logan. It's a pretty common name. It was this kid I knew in like elementary school named Logan. And he was kind of a dick, but he had a DS, and I remember I played on it. He let me play on it a little bit, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. And then I had to get off the bus, and I'm like, oh man, I want my own DS. So I'm like, then I get home, and my parents are like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, a Nintendo DS, please. And they're like, what's a Nintendo DS? And I'm like, it's like a video game you play, but you get to hold it in your hand, and it has 2 screens. I was just like stoked. But then the 3DS, I remember being like, I found out about it through a very weird way. I found out about the 3DS on Flipnote Hatena, which was a service for sharing little Flipnote cartoons. Basically, it was like the Newgrounds for the DSi. Flipnote Hatena was like a pretty cool service, and there's been attempts to try to revive it. Originally, they were going to try to revive it, apparently, for... they were going to try to revive it for Flipnote Studio 3D, but instead there was like a Flipnote website where you could share like MP4 files, or like you could share the file. Instead, I think also Flipnote Studio 3D, I think, allowed you to change any Flipnote file you had and export it as an MP4. But I remember I found out about the 3DS through, I found out about it through Flipnote Hatena, because there was some animation someone made that was like, Nintendo 3DS. I'm like, what the fuck's a 3DS? I think the first time I had ever heard about it, I was just imagining, I didn't think to look it up on the internet, so I was just thinking about it. I'm like, maybe it has 3 screens, and I'm like, no, that's stupid. It's some Johnny Test type stuff where 3 screen Game Boy Advance. Or something like that. But yeah, eventually, I was drawing in art class, and I just drew 3DS on a paper, and I was just like, yeah. Or I just wrote 3DS on a paper, and they're like, what's a 3DS? They're like, that's not real. I'm like, it is too real. And they're like, do you know what it looks like? I'm like, actually, I don't know what it looks like. And they're like, then it's not real. So eventually, I went home and looked it up, and then the next day I came to school, I'm like, you guys are going to shit your pants when you hear about this. I didn't actually swear at the time. I was very much a, pure child, quote-unquote. I wouldn't swear in elementary school. I don't think I started swearing till middle school. But, pure child. Anyway. So I was like, you guys are gonna freak out when you hear this. The 3DS is a DS with a slider that lets you play games like 3D movies. And they're like, nuh-uh. And I'm like, yeah, go home and look it up. And they did, and they're like, dude, that's so cool. What's funny is, as kids, because we didn't have cell phones, these were literally, conversations that are, 5 minutes, right? That take place over 3 days. They would take place over the entire school week, because we'd have to go home, research the new information, and then bring it back to the conversation. Especially because we were so skeptical of each other for some reason. I don't know why. But, it was one of those things. I eventually got this... So I had this 3DS XL. With it, I got a bunch of new games. I got New Super Mario Bros. 2, which I beat the day I got it. I got to the very last level the day we got it. And I beat it within 24 hours of having the game. Is what I remember. I don't know if I necessarily beat it, the same day, because I think I opened presents at around, noon. That day. So. Also, if you're curious how I can record this video even though it's Christmas, it's basically because we celebrated Christmas early because my little brother's down in New Mexico with my family down there. So, we ended up doing our Christmas stuff early. I think there might be 1 or so gifts. I don't know if they got anything else for me. It's I don't know. It's like, I don't know, because I got like some I got decent amount of gifts, and then it's like I also got Christmas money, so they were probably just like, here, go buy your own gifts. I just realized that this is like uneven. There we go. Sorry about that. I guess for whatever reason, one of the things didn't slide. One of the legs like didn't slide all the way. Oh, but now I'm uneven. There we go. That's decent. But yeah, I ended up getting the 3DS. Unfortunately, that 3DS XL met an untimely demise. It unfortunately got dropped a bunch. One of which was one of the reasons is around the time I had a loft bed, and one of the things that sucked was carrying my 3DS up to the loft bed. If you don't know what a loft bed is, basically my bed was like, so this is the floor, right? Or like this is the floor. So there was like a desk right here. There was like a pretty wide desk, by the way. It was like one of the bigger desks that I can remember owning. So, you know, we had this wide desk. And then on the sides of it are ladders. Or on one side is a ladder. And you climb up it. And you get onto this the mattress, which is like up here. But, you know, it was, so I had this loft bed, and I dropped a DS off it frequently. I'd like try to make weird little like fucking almost egg catcher like mechanisms. So, you know, I tried to make these like catcher mechanisms and shit for my 3DS. So like I would drop it down onto my computer chair, and that would work most of the time, but sometimes you'd get it, you know, it'd rotate and you get like a corner bounce and it goes like and just fucking slams on the floor. I mean, like, it wasn't that bad because of the fact that it was like it's only falling from like 1 foot, like a 1.5 foot distance, because I was short, so I had a small computer chair. But, you know, when you have that happen like several times, it becomes an issue. And eventually it became an issue where the right trigger button or the right bumper button on my 3DS was like fucked. I don't know how, but so like the right trigger, from what I remember, the mechanism of the right bumper button is basically that there's like a thing, it's like attached to the end of like the silicon board in there. And there's like this metal rod where there's like a hook. So there's a metal rod and there's like a hook that's supposed to go like this so the bumper can be pressed down like that. Well, my hook like broke and was like this. So it was always just stuck. So, you know, you press it down and it does do that. And I remember eventually I used my tooth because I realized it was fucked up when I was playing like the Pokemon Alpha Sapphire demo. I like used my tooth. I fucking went like this. Or no, I didn't use my tooth. I used like a pair of tweezers, and I pulled the whole fucking trigger out, and realized, oh, the trigger's been like fucked up. So I like fixed it, and that was the first time I had ever really like fixed anything. And I didn't really have problems with the trigger after that. The only problem was eventually I dropped my DS one time while it was open, and it fell, it hit the corner and went. It was like hanging like this, and I was freaking out. So after that, I got a 2DS, but that was as a birthday present. The 2DS. Or no, not even a birthday present. It was like an Easter gift. But yeah, there was that. Obviously, I got the Kingdom Hearts games as a Christmas gift a different year. Like I got them as a Christmas gift. I believe as a Christmas gift at least. Um I got those as a Christmas gift a few years ago, I think, and I've just been playing them since. I plan to play some today, but I got to edit this video. I don't even know if I'm going to edit this video, honestly. This one might just go raw, unedited, bigger, longer, and uncut, if you will. Anyway. So, I got those. I got probably the biggest crowning, like, Christmas presents I've ever gotten are the Xbox Series X and the PS5. The PS5 has allowed me, obviously, to play Kingdom Hearts. But it's allowed me to play a lot of games that I don't think that I would have played. I definitely wouldn't have been able to get into Persona, at least not for several years. I watched a Let's Play of Persona, but it was one of those things where, like, I had I didn't have a PlayStation console, so I think the best bet I had for a little bit was like I had a PSP, and that was my only PlayStation console. So, you know, I think Little Big Planet on the PSP is actually like a different game than the PS2 or is it PS2 or is it PS3? I think it was PS3 version of the game. Oh. But, so without those I wouldn't have played really much of anything, and there wouldn't have been an Xbox permanently down here. I remember we had both Xboxes down here for a while. Like, for a little while, we had both Xboxes down here. And then one of them got moved upstairs. There was originally talks of, like, putting one of the Xboxes in my younger brother's room. And then leaving the Series X down here. But the Series X, because it's so small, got put up in the living room. So that way it allows people to play video games up in the living room. So if they don't want to come downstairs or can't come downstairs, you can play video games up there, even though, like, the selection's a little limited up there. I don't think I've bought a new game on Xbox in quite some time. I think the last new game I bought for it was Red Dead 2. And I more so bought Red Dead 2 so that my brother could play it, and then I found out my dad just gave him the password to his account. But okay, I still have like 10 more minutes of the video. I'm checking the video size limit. I should finish this up anyway. I've gotten plenty of good Christmas gifts. There's plenty of DS games that I got with my DSi. There was, of course, the legendary Starfy, Sonic Colors DS. What else did I get? I know I got like a bunch. Oh, New Super Mario Brothers. I think I got that for Christmas at least. Now we're starting to get into the territory of I just remember having the game. I don't remember how I got the game. It gets worse as time goes on because, eventually I got into like emulation. So I was just like, I was getting a game every Tuesday. I was downloading games to play. So it was one of those things. And I mean, then there was the virtual console where I was paying like $2 to get tons of games. I had enough virtual console titles to max out the space on my 3DS's system NAND. So it was pretty crazy that was even the case. Pokemon Legends, I think, was a Christmas gift. The game I'm currently playing as a Let's Play on the channel, I believe, was a Christmas gift. Oh, my Nintendo Switch was a Christmas gift. I forgot about that. Yeah, in 2017, I got the Nintendo Switch as a Christmas gift. So I got the Nintendo Switch, like, I wasn't an early adopter. I adopted it later that year. So I adopted it like 8 months after release. There was plenty of games for it, So I ended up getting, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey. There's another game I got. I'm trying to remember. I got 3 games with it. I'd have to check. But yeah, like, I got a bunch of games on there. And now it's one of my main consoles. I remember the thing that sucked, though, was when I got a Nintendo Switch, it was initially gifted as kind of like this is a you and your brother's Switch thing. But, it was always really my Switch. And this later culminated in my younger brother getting a Switch he doesn't use, really. I've asked him why he doesn't use it. He just says, like, he doesn't really want to. And it's like, I don't get mad at him about not using it, really. It's just that, he made a big deal about having a Nintendo Switch. But I think a lot of him bossing me around off of the Nintendo Switch was to get, was just to boss me around. The Wii U wasn't a Christmas present, but it was something I asked for like year after year. I wanted a Wii U, and unfortunately, as the years went on, my parents were less and less convinced about getting me a Wii U. And the thing is like, I mainly wanted a Wii U because I wanted a Wii. I always wanted a Wii growing up, but I just never got one. But anyway, the Wii U also became, like, I remember with the whole like bossing me off of the game system thing. My brother would do this thing where like I'd want to come downstairs and play. I'd want to come downstairs and play. So, like, I'd come down here and play, and then my brother would come down the stairs, and he'd be like, "Ah, I was gonna play." And then he makes a big fit. And it's like, I remember there was a debate I got into with my fucking stepmom where she talked about me unplugging my Wii U and plugging it into my room, into my monitor. And I had to explain to her, I'm like, you don't get to do that because that's not what it's for. It's like the Wii U is supposed to be there to be played on the TV there. And it's like, if I want time with the fucking basement TV, I'll have time with it. You know, it's not like he's entitled to it any more than me. It's like I also deserve a fair share of time with the TV downstairs. And it's like, you know, I had a Switch dock, and then there was the issue for a while where it was like, well, I can't play games on the TV because anytime I want to play a game on the TV and then Eli wants to play, it's like, oh, well, you have to get off because you can just, you know, not play it. And then it'd be like, well, if I said I wanted to play an Xbox game now, then the whole argument changed. It was one of those things where it was like, just make him wait regardless. But, anyways, I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. I think that without Christmas, you know, I obviously wouldn't be as into video games as I am now. Got a lot of Christmas money that I spent on Christmas games over the year. Got a lot of video games that were pretty formative to my experience with gaming, like Sonic Colors DS or uh, the legendary Starfy. Even Terraria. I got Terraria as a Christmas present, and that was the first time I had ever really had a multiplayer gaming experience. So, or a consistent multiplayer gaming experience. But, you know, I just want to say, if there's somebody that you're thinking about wishing Merry Christmas to, and you think it's going to be awkward, say Merry Christmas. Because there's going to be times where, you know, you won't have a chance to say Merry Christmas, potentially again. Um, I remember, I don't think I ever said Merry Christmas the last year my grandma was alive, because I think she died around Christmas, maybe. And it was sad. So, kind of upset that she's not here today for me to be able to do Christmas with, especially because, like, she always went out of her way to make sure what I wanted for Christmas. And I'm sure if she was still alive, she would still, like, always ask me, what do you want for Christmas? You know, what can I get you for Christmas? And she's just not here anymore, so, you know, wish your family members a Merry Christmas, because, you know, one day you might not be able to. And, yeah. Thank you all for watching. You know, if you like the video, you should hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. You can check out the links in the description. There's links to my Blue Sky. There's a link to my Twitch page where I stream. There's a link to my Ko-Fi. You can support me and get access to videos early that way. Not all videos, just specific ones, though. And yeah, that's about it. So, well, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I will be doing a New Year's video too. I just wanted to make a Christmas video to fill the gap. Also, partially because, like, my Sonic CD break week kind of hasn't really been a break week. So this is replacing that, and instead today's video is getting pushed to tomorrow. So, like, the Plants vs. Zombies video getting pushed to tomorrow. So, yeah. Anyway, bye.